Everybody, we are back. It is Safe Online's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right. So today we're doing some Johnny Wilson. I'm doing Rosengarten from Washington. So we'll be checking out some of those guys, seeing what they can do. I mean, the Raiders are looking for a wide receiver. Johnny Wilson is a big man. He might be a tight end. We don't know yet, but he's a big dude. And then and we're gonna get some more Jordan Travis today. I'm excited about that. And then we're gonna get some we check out Rosengarten. We get more Michael Penix too. So it's just a lot of the quarterbacks we already went over. We're just looking at the other players, you know. So I'm gonna do that today. Nothing really going on. There's just the latest rumor is that Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco differ on what to do at the quarterback position. This is from Tony Pauline from Sportskita. He just be moving. I don't know what Tony just moving. You know, you can decide he's the best source of these things or not.
Yeah.
But Tony Pauline, he says that the Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce differ. Pierce wants to move up for a quarterback, and Tom Telesco wants to go with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell in a competition. But it doesn't mean they're not going to take a quarterback. They're just not going to take one early. So, Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm like you kind of hit the nail right on the head at the end, where like I don't think that doesn't mean they're going to not draft a quarterback, but I think that does mean that Telesco doesn't want to trade up. Like he almost, pardon me, because like what was the old rumor with him and Justin Herbert, where like he wanted Tua, but he didn't want to trade up for Tua, so he just sat back and kind of let Justin Herbert fall in his lap. So part of me wonders if he's kind of hoping that same scenario or something similar plays out. But yeah, I mean, it all at the end of the day, it just keeps all pointing back to Michael Penix. Yeah, to me, like that's what that says to me. It's like, all right, we're not going to trade up. If we look at it as if that's true, and they're going to meet in the middle, I feel like Michael Penix is at 13 is the route they'll go.
Yeah, that's an option at 13. I mean, if he's going to go that route, I kind of will wait and see where Michael Penix goes, because I think the Michael Penix buzz might be a little bit of a fake. It's just too late for quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Usually quarterbacks, they don't have this late rise, right? And JJ McCarthy, as soon as he left the national championship, he's like, this guy could be a top 10 pick. Everybody's like, nah, you're joking. And then it just kept happening. You know, there was a difference. Like Michael Penix is having this late rise, kind of makes you feel like that he might be a second round guy. So they might be thinking like that too. Like we don't have to reach at 13, and maybe that we can wait for him if we feel like somebody in front of us really likes him. I mean, it is what it is, but maybe they like Bo Nix or something like that too. Or maybe they like one of those guys, or like Spencer Rattler. It might be, I don't know. That's a thought process maybe Telesco is thinking. But obviously Antonio Pierce is like, I need to win now, so let's go get a quarterback for real. But I mean, what would they have to give up at that point? It'll be a lot, but would it be worth it?
And I think that's probably obviously the biggest part of it. And I think that's kind of where it's a mute point, where like I just don't see how they're going to be able to get into the top three. One, do we even know if those picks are for sale? You can't buy something that's not for sale. And then on top of it too, like the Vikings can pretty much outbid them in whatever offer they make with that extra first round pick this year. So it's just, I don't know how realistic them trading into the top, even 6 picks are really going to be this year.
Yeah, because the Vikings can give them 11 and 23, which still puts you in a pretty good spot in the first round. That is something they could do. But maybe a team's betting on the Raiders sucking. I mean, that could be something they could do too, Matt. And you give us a first round pick, say we're going to suck. Yeah. Right. We're not that good. And then they could be like, yeah, we'll have high picks, and then the Raiders are good. And then, they're picking at 24 or something like that. I'm just saying. Things like that can happen. But it's all about the sell. It's all about the sell. Basically, you got to sell it to people. But I still think I think Telesco's obviously, from history, he's conservative in the first round. Yeah, I mean, he traded up for Kenneth Murray. I don't know how many other guys he's traded up for. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he traded up for Kenneth Murray, and he's also a guy who doesn't do things twice. Yeah, he got hurt all the time. He's also a guy who doesn't do things twice. Like he kind of learns from his mistakes a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does in this draft. But I think he just doesn't see them giving up that many draft picks right now when they can keep drafting first-round guys and adding more first-round talent throughout the years, while being able to find a quarterback. Because I mean, if they're not good, they're gonna have a chance to get another one. Even though I'm sure some guys will rise. You know, there's no next year's not like Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
You
and
know
what?
what
Yeah, I mean, to remind people, like Jaden Daniels wasn't Jaden Daniels, or wasn't a top 3 pick at this time last year. You know what I mean. So anything can change, but it definitely it's just another sign that's like trading up is probably not going to happen, which some people are going to be disappointed with.
Probably, but I mean, it's trading up from 13-3 is just something you just shouldn't get your hopes up for, in my opinion. I mean, this is a big trade, and I know Antonio Pierce, he's out there very vocal, so he says a lot of his thoughts. But Telesco's the guy running everything, so that's how it gets. Because it gets interesting that way, because it's that dynamic, like who's running the show for real. So it gets interesting that way. All right. Any other thoughts about anything else? I mean, nothing else is going on. You got draft season's almost over. You got a week left.
I know, right? Draft. We've hit that weird period where there's like nothing really to talk about except for like these little rumors. So it's almost like I want to just get the show on the road at this point. Like less 10 days out when this comes out. So
yeah, I was trying to get to the linebackers, man. I just couldn't do it, man. I was like, I don't want to watch defensive ends. So I started watching defensive line.
Linebackers tough. That's
tough. Because even Colson is he's pretty good. He's like, I guess. What's the guy from NC State, Peyton? I can't think of his last name. Wilson. Yes. Okay. He's pretty damn good though. But I don't know if he's an edge. Like him and Jared Trotter, I feel like they're edge players. Are you an edge rusher?
The problem with Peyton Wilson is Wilson not going to be able to take on blocks, and he's also got 30-inch arms. So if you put him at edge, it's going to be
I didn't know his arms
too. Yeah, he's got T-Rex arms.
Oh, okay, all right.
But he runs a 4.43.
Yeah, but
he can fly. He has sideline to sideline speed. But yeah, he's an interesting guy.
He's all over the field. I liked watching him, but I'm like, it doesn't get better from here, does it? That's what I was thinking about.
He's also the Michael Penix of linebackers. He's had 4 or 5 injuries, and is a 6-year senior.
See, this is why I didn't start deep diving into that group too much. But
every linebacker has a but.
I was like, you know what? I'll leave that to Matt. Matt does the linebackers. I'll let him talk about that.
That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much the class. It's just a bunch of buts.
All right, guys. So let's get into some of these players we're going to be covering. I'm going over Rosengarten from Washington, and we got Johnny Wilson. So give us some of your thoughts on Johnny Wilson before we start getting into this film here.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Wilson was a guy that just watching him over the summer, I really liked, and I thought he had a pretty good game. I mean, he's 6'6.5", 235, like you said. I know there's talk about him trying to play tight end. What I think part of it is people see the 235 number and they think that's a, I think Jatavian Sanders is 235 or whatever. But you also got to remember he's 6'6", so it's not quite the same thing. Sanders is 6'1" or something like that. So I don't really get that talk for as much. And two, he's not he's a decent run blocker, but he's nothing dominant like you'd expect for someone to do that. And two, he can run. He ran a 4.5. He can win down the field. We'll see a couple clips of him win on some deeper routes. And I just feel like he's a guy that we're probably the media is lower on, and most people are lower on just because he kind of lost some shine this past year with Keon Coleman being at Florida State. But I can see the NFL being really high on him, Derek Klassen, Compton, a Plaxico Burress type of player. And that's kind of who he is, the tall, lanky dude who can win down the field, good at beating press, surprisingly, and all that stuff. Takes and makes catches in traffic pretty well. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. I think he'll go higher than we expect him to.
Okay, all right, yeah. When I watched him, just watching him when Keon Coleman, you can tell they're pretty good wide receivers. I mean, they can get open. Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good Senior Bowl too. He went out there. He didn't play tight end over there, so kind of see how the NFL kind of thinks about him. Yeah, so because if they thought he was tight end, he would have played tight. That's where he's gonna. Hey, let's get some tight end reps here. So since that didn't happen, yeah, I think Wilson has a pretty good future in the NFL. At least kind of being that 50-50 guy, So
see, he's kind of underwhelming in that part. Like if you look at at PFF, like he was below in contested catches. He was like 9 of 22. Like he's still kind of learning how to use his like big body. Whereas like a guy that again is nearly 6'7" and 235, you'd like to see that tilt more like 75-25 in his favor. But yeah, he's like not great. Like that's one thing that's like it's interesting part about his game. Like he'll win 50-50 balls just on pure size alone. Like you could throw it up and let him go get the rebound type of deal. But when he's like truly contested at like the catch point, like he doesn't like quite use his body to shield guys off. I feel like it's an underrated or a kind of underwhelming part of his game right now. And I feel like he's like a little bit more proficient in other areas than people might realize. So
okay.
But he has that tool in his bag to develop later too, which if he can do that, like he'll be even better.
Okay. So Johnny Wilson, Roger Rosengarten. I checked him out from Washington. This dude's athletic as hell. That's the first thing that you notice. But he's fully dependent on his athleticism. He doesn't have good technique. I'll talk about that. I'll show that a little bit. It's just he's so powerful. He's so big, and he can move. There's a lot to work with. I think he has a lot of high upside for his athleticism. I was looking up his RAS right now. I think it's 9.59 with the 4.92 40. He is only 308 pounds, but that's kind of where Telesco likes his tackles. So I think this is a guy he's really going to like. I think he added in some short shuttle at 4.8, 4.6. So it's like 84 percentile, 84% percentile. Great vertical. So he's a very athletic player. You could tell that he just depends on it. And when you're in college, it's kind of hard to knock him a little bit because there's a lot of guys can't beat him in college just because of how athletic he was. But you get to the NFL, everybody's just as athletic as you are. There's just no tweeners. These guys are the right positions for the most part, and they can move too. They run 4.5, 4.6s. They're very athletic, especially at the defensive end position. So that's what he's got to get used to. I think you can clean him up, though. I think it's somebody you can work on, but I feel like that's why he's not getting first round buzz. Because if he had clean technique, he's first rounder. But I think it's somebody the Raiders could probably grab at 44. Because I think when you're drafting, offensive tackles like that, it has to be like kind of like I would say like a second round offensive tackle or something like that. So just a guy who has a lot of upside. So how that goes.
For sure. What did you say he weighed in at?
He weighed in at 308.
308. Okay, gotcha. Good size, good numbers. Yeah, I know just from watching him, like watching some of the Pac-12 guys, like he definitely has problems with his technique. Like as far as athletic as he is, he likes to overset. And I think a little bit in his past sets. I feel like I noticed him a few times on that. But from what I've seen, like he could be a stud from just in his movement skills alone. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. How about let's get some Johnny Wilson first. Check out Johnny Wilson, see what he's got.
All right. So yeah, first thing about Johnny Wilson that kind of stands out about him is he's pretty good at beating press. Like you'll see this a lot, especially for a bigger guy. He kind of uses his strength, like we were talking about, using his strength and size. Like here, does a good job attacking the leverage, getting the square, getting his hands ready, and then just kind of swipes away at that corner. And then on top of it, finishes it on the slant route with a nice digging out a nice little low ball here. So again, I think this is going to be a pretty common theme. I think you'll see with a lot of these clips. Like similar time here, like again, attacking leverage. Now this guy's just working out to his zone here. But even so, he's like taking the fight to him. And this is a linebacker and beating it. Obviously not much on the route. But again, like you can see how he uses his hands and how he kind of gets him up and ready for the fight. Mm-hmm. He's able to like get unimpeded on his route, even against a bigger guy. And two, I feel like his movement skills are a little underrated here. You can see a little bit of it on that little inside move. Yeah, some better on the next clip here and see it from the end zone view. Like again, for a bigger guy, like I think it was last year he had like 7-point-something yards per catch, which was actually a little bit more than Zay Flowers and ranked like tied for 4th in the ACC. So you can make something happen. Get a better example of it on this route. Runs a nice little dig here, runs through that tackle, makes one guy miss. And then two, I love it. He kind of gets that running back mentality where like, even though he's wrapped up here and he's really got nowhere to go, kind of still fighting for the yards, fighting for extra yards. But to back this up too, again, press coverage, attacks the leverage, gets his hands ready. And the route for a guy that's like bigger like this, like this is a pretty good change of direction. And you can see what it does to the safety up here. Like safety is thinking he's going vertical and opens up his hips because he does a good job of selling it. And then he just hits the brakes, falls off the table and hugs that 40-yard line to maximize the separation. And again, after the catch, tacking on some extra yards. Pretty good for a bigger receiver. Like we'll see that a few times. You know, not a guy that's going to be running a bunch of whip routes and short yardage or anything like that, but does have decent change of direction, can sink his hips a little bit too. That was a nice move. I like that.
Side note, but I really like that tight end too, number 6. That dude's really good.
Oh, is that Bell? Or which one?
Bell, yeah, that dude. Yeah, he's really
okay,
good.
Yeah. So I'll watch this move.
Whoop. Ooh, yeah. Athletic.
I know, for a big dude, it's kind of underrated. Again, nice little press release here. I mean, you can see, like, even for a bigger dude who's, like, not what you think about, like, when I'm talking about, right, like, you see the size, you think 50-50 guy. He can move, man. Nice release here, little foot fire. Gets that cornerback turned around. And I like, too, like, you can tell he's, like, well coached up. Just by, like, on this rep right here, like, working back to the quarterback, maximizing that separation, making sure this corner, even if he did get a clean break, can't get back into the ball. Like, just does a lot of little things right, too, that I really like that. I think a lot of coaches are really going to appreciate when they flip on his tape, and this is part of the reason why I think the NFL is probably a little higher on him than I realize.
I wonder what his basketball background's like, just because how fluid he is, that's all.
Very true. Moving on a little bit here. So to back this up, again, the route's not much. It's just a little simple drag, but I do like how he kind of gives this like safety little stutter step. And then again, he explodes and changes speeds pretty well for a bigger guy. I think he has like a decent acceleration. I don't remember what his 10-yard burst is, but remember it being like good. Like you can see that helps him get some separation. And this kind of leads me to our next point. Like this isn't the best example, but like this is where his size does help him out. Takes a nice little shot from that safety, holds on to the ball, keeps it up going for the first down. We'll see that in a couple of reps here that get even better, even more impressive, and show a little more of the nuance that I was talking about before as a receiver. I mean, that was a nice big hit, and he didn't even flinch, really. Nice job. Knew it was coming, too.
Yeah.
A little. Knows he's got time. Got to back it up a little bit more. See right here. Give that little peek back to see if anyone's coming. Knows to protect himself. Again, get a good look of it here against Clemson. Show some smarts, too, to sit in this hole against zone coverage from Clemson. Wrap around this linebacker and give his quarterback the nice big lane to throw to.
Yep.
And then here's where his size. And then what I want everybody to watch right here is watch how he's going to go from here and then tuck this shoulder down to, one, protect himself and take this shot from the linebacker in the back instead of the ribs. Kind of like if you were in baseball about to get hit by a pitch, right? You want to turn your back into it and take the shot there. You got a little more muscle, a little more meat there too. And two, that's going to protect the ball. And we end up picking up a first down. We'll see this on another rep too. Like that's what I'm talking about, where a little bit of the awareness and a little bit of the nuance of playing receiver that he's already kind of got down that I think a lot of coaches are going to appreciate in GMs. Like nice. Tuck that ball away.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Same type of thing here. Now he's actually going to win on a deep route. I was talking about those long strides and same type of thing. Like he knows the safety's coming, beats the corner off the line against cover 3, tracks the ball. Jordan Travis throws him into the safety. Same thing. Tucks himself away and is able to make this a nice explosive play down the field for the offense. Nice job.
Yeah. He ain't scared of contact. I mean, they're that big. I mean, he shouldn't be.
No, and I think that's part of the reason maybe why some people will say he's going to be a tight end, but I think he's a pretty damn good receiver. I don't know why you'd want to move him. Same kind of thing here. These are going to be kind of a little more random clips here, but little mesh concept thrown behind him. Nice adjustment to the ball. He has good hands, but he also has like frustrating concentration drops. Like I think it was the LSU game where he had two hands where he was wide, or two passes where he was wide open, hit him in both hands and he dropped them. But obviously there he can make some tough catches. Here again, another tough catch, and two, like using his big body, using his size advantage at the top of the route to kind of bully this guy, create some separation. Maybe a little bit of offense pass interference, but make him call it. at the end of the day. And again,
Yeah.
use your big body to create some separation. I don't know how big that corner is, but guarantee he's nowhere near 235 and 6'7". So one more nice deep route here. Again, nice little fade. Same thing. Going against press coverage. Inside stem, gets to square. Nice little foot flyer. And then gets on top. Nice grab over the shoulder. That's a tough one to grab. Tracks it well. Boom. I mean, catches that out in front. You got to have some strong hands to be able to catch that one in or hold that one in.
Yes, it seems like he got some great hands, man.
He does. Just for whatever reason, is going to be on the hook for a few concentration drops on there. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like a guy that can be big and run fast, win down the field. Can make catches over the middle. I don't know how much of a short area type of guy he is. Like I think he's probably going to be in your target in that intermediate to deep range, but not a whole lot of guys who are nearly 6'7" and can run a 4.5. That's for sure. So he's a guy that even if he doesn't win down the field, again, if you can work with him on getting that body control and going up and high pointing balls, he doesn't necessarily need to be the big speed demon as long as he can just get down there and get underneath the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, but
37-inch vertical or something like that, which again, 6'7" and 37 inches, you can get up pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty fluid too, man. Definitely not stiff. He's able to get in and out of his breaks pretty good. That's what, you wonder if he has that basketball background, because usually guys are that tall and they get bend like that. They're basketball players.
Yeah.
It's usually not NFL players that are that big. They're usually big little stiff dudes, you know what I mean? Kind of 6'6" and, can't really move unless you're like Calvin Johnson, which is, he's a freak, you know what I mean? So, but like Drake London, he has that height, but he can kind of do the bending and stuff like that too. But he played basketball at USC as well. So kind of wonder if, Johnny Wilson does have that basketball background where, kind of where he could, has that type of bend and have that type of movement skills. Usually those guys play a lot of basketball, and then having good hands too is something that, guys who play a lot of basketball have too. So for the most part, I mean, I'm not saying for everybody, but it could be a sign of a very athletic player if he's that type of height, in my opinion.
For sure.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
All right, dude. So let's get into some Rosengarten. Let's do some Rosengarten here. All right, so here we go. So, of course, we're doing Roger Rosengarten. So we're going to start off with, it's my dude right here. We're going to start off with run blocking, of course, is how we always do. So he is a down block machine. So I'll just say that. I mean, just give you some great down blocks here. It's funny. I couldn't find any runs, really. I tried my hardest, guys. It's just not a consistent thing, but he did have some run blocking. It would look like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's another one. Just boom, just moving this guy. It's not even like the great, he's just kind of just moving him.
Yeah. His angle is interesting, very far up the field for what he needed to do, but he found a way to make it work.
You know what I mean? It's all athleticism. That's what I'm saying. Like he's power and athleticism right now. He's kind of a little raw, but you see how he could just move people in the run game on that down block, right? And they have a little bit of power system, but you run a 4.92 and you can move like he does and have that shuttle. You're built for the zone game too, so he could definitely has a zone upside as well. But you could see how you can mix it up with him. You could do a lot of power because he's a great on down block. So here's another one here, right? Another down block. See, he even gets kind of beat here, kind of, right? Because you kind of can see, he's a high pad level. He's a taller guy, but he gets beat. But he just keeps pushing the guy right around, and still ends up making a halfway decent block. So you can see how kind of raw he is from the beginning. I mean, he's just not the cleanest player. See the high pad level. He's tall. He's trying to get down there, but that's how he's, the guy's able to kind of go past him with speed a little bit here. Kind of just rip through it, but he's able to he has that power to just keep pushing.
Power and feet to stay with it.
Yeah, he has great feet. All right. So here's another one here. Catch him out in space here.
Yeah. Can you back that up to him when coming off the line?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see how quickly he comes up. By now, he's standing up by his second step. I mean, look at where his ass is. He's like completely up in the air.
Yeah, he had like a 1.73, I think, 10-yard split or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can move, man. He's athletic. It jumps off the film how athletic he is. He is an athlete at the tackle position, right? That's what I said. There's a lot to work with. That's one thing you can bet on, is that he's going to be athletic enough to handle pass rushers. So, I mean, like I said, it's basically all the run reps I could find. It was very, I mean, there's more, but like there's just nothing you care about. But let's get into pass protection, because this is what he does best. All right, and kind of where a lot of his upside is. He does have some upside in the run game, but kind of see just how smooth he is a little bit. But you also can, he does like you tell me, Matt, this backpedal that he does. He starts like backpedaling.
he got out of the kick slide after 2 steps.
Right?
He did 2 kick slides and then just hit it in reverse.
Right? It starts backpedaling like he's a DB. And he does a good job of landing his hands, right? And winning the hand fight there. And you can't really bull rush through him, so he's gonna stonewall you. And he's so athletic. It's just athleticism. That's what he's probably one of the most athletic tackles in this draft, or the most athletic tackle in this draft overall. Maybe not like size wise, and kind of on a rasp put size effective into it, but just from an athletic standpoint, he might be, man. Because see here, doesn't really. It's a better set on this one, but you can't run through him. And usually he has pretty good hand placement. He's going to win that battle in the anchor. Like, that's something he's going to do. He's so strong. I'm surprised he didn't do his bench and show that off. He's a strong guy for sure. All right, here's another one. You see it, that back pedal type of thing again. You just see it. It's just easy peasy for him. Gets his hands on there, and he's able to just control them. It's all power right there. It's all athleticism and power. It's not really technique or anything like that, in my opinion. I mean, he does have good hand placement. I'll give him that. There's that grip strength that he has, right? So, I mean, he has the hand placement that you like. It's not like kind of Colt Miller coming out. Colt Miller is just, he's trying to hug you. And that's what happened to him. When he started the NFL, he got baptized a couple times. But you see here, like, one thing he does really well is he jump sets. I think he's a really good jump setter where he can just kind of get on you really quickly. Right there, you see, like I said, hands are always inside, always in the right spot. So he can have full control over you and kind of just push you around, bounce you around, because he's so strong. Seriously. All right, so here's another one. Right, you see, he's just gonna, right? You see him kind of just. So it's not much of a jump set, but he kind of turns it into one. Right, but you just see the athleticism. Like, I mean, like he's not easy to get around him. He actually kind of loses here because the guy does a little jab move on him. She goes inside. He's able to recover because he has the speed and athleticism to keep up with him.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, here's the jump shot where he buries the guy. I was like, get the little jump shot over here. Here it is. All right, so here's the next one. Another jump set here, which I really, like I said, you just see the power. I'm not gonna really get into like a deep breakdown. He just throws guys in the ground. Just boom, get his hands on you. He gets his hands inside. You're going to the ground, and he gets pancaked. So it's like something he does really well is the jump sets. And it's pretty damn consistent. See another one here. And you kind of see his anchor ability. Like he loses the hand fight. Guy gets inside of him, but he's able to get his feet down, anchor. He ain't gonna bull rush through him. Nice throw by Penix right there. It's a better Penix video. It's a better Penix video. All right. Last time with Fashidi. Like I said, he's just such a smooth mover, man. He just smooth mover. I said it was smooth mover. He just is constant. He can move, man. It's just not a lot of technique. He's basically just out there doing what the hell he wants. I mean, it's just like a backpedal type of thing too. Playing DB out there.
I was gonna say he's out there dancing, but it's working.
You know, maybe he's a trendsetter. You know what I mean? Maybe he's a trendsetter. I'll give him that. All right. So that's it. What? You see, even here, like on this one, he doesn't peek inside, and you know he gets caught leaning here, but he's able to reset a little bit. But you know, in the NFL, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it does seem like he will get like beaten just for cover, which is scary.
Right? Yeah. And he's like let's say it's kind of like watching a DB. He's like an athletic DB. Seeing here, like, base, like I don't know. I mean, you tell me. I mean, he's just kind of playing.
I mean, he's kind of playing games for the rusher too, because he's like he kind of like fakes the quick set, like and like you can see the rusher try like you can see how he's like not sure when to throw his like little chop there, and just kind of toys with him.
I mean, they're pretty, you know, technique wise, they're a little different here in Washington. You know, they teach a lot of that fake stuff. I think some of that stuff is taught, man. And he does that stuff a little bit too. You know, like the fake punching that Fashanu does, or Fatanu.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Another one here. You see him picking up the stunt here. So he's a very smart player, though. He does this really well. It's something he does really well. He kind of sees a little bit of his best technique on this one, too. Picking up the stunt there, kind of riding it out there. So, very smart player as well. There you go. Get the movement on. There's a lot of upside with Rosengarten. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. I did a lot of pass pro clips here, because one, Washington passed the ball at the same time, and two, I picked the games where they didn't run the ball. So, but but you know, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the get off here is outstanding. Like how quick he is to go out and get this wide rusher and be in a perfect position.
He's so quick off the ball too. And I think this is where he gets a little cocky with his technique a little bit. But you see, that's a great set right there. Spin move. There, he's able to reset, cover a little bit. But you know, it's just one of those things in the NFL. These guys are just be a little bit better technique wise. So you see here, this is what I talk about his anchor ability. You see here. Like he gets into the back pedal, right? And this guy's able to get inside of him, but he's just so strong. He's able to anchor, get his feet down. It's not going to work all the time here. You know, like
with his outside hand.
Like he's trying to do the fake. What's up? Yeah.
He misses with his outside hand.
He's still able to recover though. So
yeah.
It's a lot of things he can do. He does a lot of things really well. But like I said, like sometimes you get these kick steps, guys just go right around you. And I'm getting a holding call here. So you're in that back pedal, and he just goes right around you. I just see. Yeah. You know what your linemen look like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because of the back pedaling. Not a great position, but you see it's because of the back pedaling type of thing he does. It's not gonna work. The NFL. Yeah. So they're gonna have to clean up his technique. I don't know if this was Washington was teaching, but I don't know what their plan, kind of letting him freelance a little bit like this. But in the NFL, they're just better technicians, because even here you see him get beat inside. He gets the help though from 72. Maybe he recovers there. I don't know, but kind of see the guy able to beat him inside with a nice little kind of chops with the winning that hand fight, trying to rip through there. But here we go. And like even on this one, you know, sure, you could say like he's under 2.5 seconds here, but that guy's able to kind of just rip through and, you know, get a pressure there.
It looks like he overset a little bit on this one.
Yeah. So he has the body, the feet, and even the hands, in my opinion, to be a really good right tackle, like Brian O'Neill. You know, he reminds me of. That's what he reminds me of. Brian O'Neill. I don't know if you guys remember. He's the right tackle for the Vikings, and that's what he really reminds me of. So Brian O'Neill is very raw. He actually played tight end. He was played tight end in high school, but he was like a world class, like I think Mr. in Delaware or something, like won state championships in basketball. So he's super athletic, and I think he ran like a 4.9 as well. And that's what he reminds me of. He reminds me of Brian O'Neill, but kind of seeing space. He's a little wonky there a little bit, but yeah. So that is Roger Rosengarten. I think he has a lot of high upside type of player that you can work with and, you know, build him up. And, you know, he doesn't have to really have to start right away. That's why I kind of feel like, you know, you get him at 44. So I think you throw him out there really early. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen. So I think he's just more of a development right tackle who could become like Brian O'Neill. I forgot what round Brian O'Neill went, but I think it might have been 3rd round. And that's why I kind of feel like they're a similar type of player. It's just that they're high athleticism, very athletic, but, you know, there's a lot you got to work on, a lot you got to fix. I mean, you can't be doing the things he was doing in the NFL. I mean,
yeah,
Max Crosby is good, just straight. So,
yeah. And like, I feel like too, like you kind of pointed out, like there were certain reps where like he was just super high and super not great with his feet and all that stuff. Like somebody's going to turn speed to power, and Khalil Mack's going to turn speed to power and go right through that guy's chest if he gets thrown into the fire too quickly. But yeah, like you said, a lot of nice feet, a lot of nice things to work with. Definitely agree with you on his hands. That was like the best, most impressive part about his technique, I think, to me. Was pretty good with those and whatnot. So, and strong dude too. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, he's strong guy. And, you know, that's his anchor ability is, you know, was saving him a lot. But I mean, a lot of that video was him recovering. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like he it's there. You're going to have to build it, though. You're going to have to build it. Yeah. It's like build a right tackle, right? And then you just got to fix the techniques. And, you know, it's kind of like a quarterback. You know, everybody's, you know, you got to fix his mechanics to be fine. And that's kind of how I feel about Rosengarten. So,
yeah, for sure.
All right. Any other thoughts, man? Any last thoughts?
Not much, man. We just got a couple weeks left to get to the draft. I mean, I don't know what positions we thinking moving forward.
I don't know, man. I think you might do something else. Maybe we do like a draft board or something, and just kind of do like a top 20 draft board type of thing. And you come up with your top 20 players, and I come up with mine, and then we just come up with like I don't know, middle ground, I guess. I don't know. And then
sounds good.
And then we'll like save it for the draft or something. So
sounds good to me.
We do something like that because I don't know how much of a film I could watch. I mean, I feel like I'm finished with all the Raiders positions, and I'm saying I'm like, do I watch linebackers? You know, and you know, I'm wondering, should I watch a safety? So they draft a safety. That'd be interesting if they did that. So, yeah, so many safeties there. You know, it's just gonna be a little bit of a waste. So, you know, but you know, all the other positions of need, or you know, that are a little empty there. I'm looking at it, but I'm gonna get into this D line this week. I'm gonna finish this week.
Sounds good, man.
All right, dude. I think we're out of here, man. So hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. And go check out all the draft stuff we did, man. I mean, it's since January. It's been 3 months. Yeah, go back. You could do like a review. You could just
put it on the loop. Well, just go have it going while you sleep. Put it on.
Yeah, make a playlist. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. You know what I mean? All right, guys. I'm out of here. Peace.
See ya.